My name is Whalen Gonzales. I'm a lieutenant with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, Investigations Bureau. I work in the Major Crimes Division with the Special Victims Unit. Special Victims Unit, similar to how you probably see on TV, investigates crimes mostly with children and sex crimes. But we also do handle any human trafficking crimes. And so human trafficking, some people get that confused with immigration, which it is not. It's more of modern slavery and more commonly referred to as sex trafficking. You know, the majority of the public and some law enforcement personnel think that this human trafficking, sex trafficking problem is an overseas problem. And it is true that we do have massage parlors and businesses here in our jurisdiction that do bring females and sometimes men overseas for that purpose, but the majority of our victims are homegrown and local. So if you think about the vulnerable people in your life, either vulnerable by age, of course children, or mental acuity, or maybe just the lack of stability for food and shelter, those are typically the people we see being taken advantage of by people preying on them. Something that most people aren't aware of here in the community, and even within our law enforcement community, is over the nation, Phoenix is number 16 in terms of the amount of trafficking cases that are documented. So this is not a New York problem or an LA problem. You know, we are a large city, and so we are right up there in the top 20 for known trafficking cases. So a lot of times I get asked, you know, what are the signs or symptoms of trafficking? And really it's very hard to tell, but it's not what the TV portrays, right? So, as I said, it's not an overseas problem, but it's also not glamorous, and most times it's not a chosen life. Most often they don't stay by choice. It's either threats of shaming, threats of violence, or harm to them, and they are now forced to continue this life. You know, when we talk about the children, the stats from NECMEC, which is the National Center of Missing and Endangered Children, they will make anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 per child off of sex trafficking per year. And so it's very hard to detect. You just have to know, and you know, keep your eyes out. Obviously, for our sworn personnel, you do what you do. You investigate, you document, you forward it to the investigators to look into it. And for our jail personnel, if you hear inmates, you know, I know that they're in there either pending sentencing or their trial or whatnot, but they might be victims as well. So you keep your ears open, you document, notify your supervisor, jail intel. And for our community members, if you come across a situation that just doesn't seem right, we have a tip line, 602-876-TIPS. You can call there 24/7 and, you know, let us know if you think something isn't just right. But there is no one thing. It's usually a gut feeling. So as long as we keep in mind that most of our victims are local, you know, more than half are runaways. You know, young females, 15, 16, 17, and they end up on the street and they just don't have a place to live. And they'll find themselves in situations where they then get taken advantage of, get turned out, and then it is no longer a choice. They're there by threat of violence. I commonly get asked if human trafficking is preventable, and the answer is yes. You know, it's all about education and awareness, and so the first part is we just have to step away from the idea that it's someone else's problem, it's an overseas problem. Once that happens, you start paying attention to your daughter, your nieces, your nephew, your neighbors, then you'll start to see the changes if it happens. You know, the runaways, they get preyed upon. People who have maybe drug addiction or mental deficiencies, they get preyed upon, and I'm pretty sure that we all know someone like that in our family. So you pay attention. When you see the change, you got to take action, and that's how we all make it preventable.